Hey, 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 hey. Surprise, got him. Hope all is well, everybody. Hope all is well. It's your girl Tonia over at Hidden in Plain Sight Subliminals. This is a presentation brought to you by ECMG Creative, where we take your vision higher. So today, we're going to talk about a few things that are going on in, I guess they used to call it pop culture. When I was a kid, they called it current events. So, what's going to happen is we're going to talk about what's going on in our world and also how it ties in subliminals, how to read the room, how to pay attention to patterns, how to use them to your advantage, even though most of the time we're at a disadvantage with all this nonsense that's going on in the world. So I just want you to realize that. Shout out to the former Matthew Perry. He's not the former, but he actually passed away. Shout out to him. But there was a movie he was in years ago called Fools Rush In, and there was this man as he was walking through New York City. He was saying, the signs are all around us, right? You need to pay attention. There's some things that we look for that we need. And for whatever reason, we can't see them when they're right in front of us. So today, we're going to take what's going on the interwebs and in our world, and we're going to talk to you about how you can pull all of that together. We're going to be talking about, what's her name? Cassie. We're going to talk about, yeah, he did it. We're going to talk about Sam Altman. And we're also going to talk about this Will Smith, brother Bilal situation and how, we can use those cues for ourselves. But first things first. Now, bear with me. This is my first time here on the lives, and I'm using StreamYard. So if I get off kilter, just say you love me and let's move on. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. First things first, thank you for each and every one of you who decided to look at the live, catch it live. And even if you're catching this on the replay, thank you. It took a lot for me to go live. I'm not one of these go live bays. But Sunday, like this Sam Altman situation just lit a fire under me. And so I said, well, let's come on and do it on the YouTube because the numbers that are going up here are like completely startling to me. So I'd like to bring you more content that you can use. So go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I say thank you. There's no show without you, and I don't want to do it without you. Let's get right to it, daggone it. This is a mess. This situation with Cassie and Puff Daddy, did he do it? Yeah, we know he did it. Whatever the case is ridiculous. All right. If any of you do not know what has been going on, Sean Combs, a huge record exec back in the day, multi-billionaire at this point, right? He was caught up in a legal situation with a young woman named Cassie, who was also a recording artist not too long ago. And her career stalled pretty much after she got with him. But if you're with a billionaire in the making, you gotta weigh it in the balance. Like, do I want to keep him or do I want to go and do my dream? It's really strange. So what came out here in New York, because I'm in New York if you can't hear it, this week marked the end of a law making it kind of nearly impossible for those who have been victimized by in any way having to do with relations, if you pick up what I'm putting down. And this young lady decided that she was going to take full advantage of that 1 week prior. And just like Jay-Z would say, grand opening, grand closing. She filed on Wednesday. This was done on Friday. Why? Because there's a preponderance of evidence. Why? Because there's so many other names that are involved in this nonsense, and they're famous and infamous as well. So that's how the cookie crumbles. So let me bounce back over to StreamYard for a second just to see if everything is working right. So why is it that I have these four young ladies on this slide. I want you to know, which is the title of this talk, patterns matter. You need to pay attention to patterns. Look at Misa Hilton Brim. This is the greatest baby mama of all times. Go back in the records, go back to the public records in New York State. This woman is bad. Okay? Misa Hilton Brim, they have the same facial structure, both she and Cassie. Mhm. Now, here's something very strange also. The papers are saying that, or the newsies are saying, that Puffy knew her when she was 18 years old. No, ma'am, no, sir. This man knew her when she was 14 years old. Watch the pattern. 14 years old while he is in his 30s. Now, when I was 14 years old, there was a name for people like him. It's called old people. Like, what? I live with two old people. Why would I want to date old people? Like, what? At 14 years old. So you have to take into consideration this girl was a child. This girl was being groomed. And I really don't like talking about this subject because I believe you mess with kids, you get what you get. Don't put them in jail. Leave them on the streets and let the street deal with them, if you know what I'm saying. What's the pattern? Well, go back to Kim. Kim, all of these women, beautiful. They all look like doll babies. They don't even look real. They're so beautiful. Kim, Kim, who is no longer with us, God bless the dead, she gave that man a run for his money. But here we are in the 2020s, right? Who do we see walking around with Sean? Lori. Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. I'm getting somewhere with this. How long has Sean known Lori? One guess. He's known her since she was 14 years old. Patterns. Okay, I just want you to look at the patterns. Now I want you to see something that's even more sick because while we're looking at Robert Kelly, yeah, he did what he did. He needs to stay there as long as possible. While we're looking at this guy, that's cool. He is what he is. We see what he is now. But let's look at the pattern here. And this is where the subliminals come in. What message is this whole scenario bringing into play? It's bringing into play that this stuff is normalized in that industry. Shaka Khan didn't lie when she said on the night Whitney Houston died, this is a demonic industry. That's what she said. Doesn't mean there aren't beautiful people peppered in, but overall, what is happening here? What's going to happen with this Cassie situation is the same thing that's going to happen with R. Kelly. That happened with R. Kelly. There are so many other women. Now the door is open. And guess what? They're going to start coming in. And I tell you, if there isn't a surviving, whatever that man name is today, I'd be very surprised if it's not in production by the end of the year because there's so many girls who are out there. And my next person that I'm going to talk about it's going to make sense to you as to why this is a subliminal message going out to all of us. It's letting us know that there's more to come. It's letting us know that this is nothing new in Hollywood. It's letting us know that the thing that's changing is how these people are dealt with. That's what's going to change, right? You can see with Weinstein, you can see with Epstein, you can see with Cosby, you can see with Kelly. They're not playing anymore. So if you have a preponderance of evidence, and make no mistake, Sugar Bear, whatever evidence that girl had, you really think that's all the evidence that she had? Rumor has it that Cassie was in not cahoots, but she made peace with Kim because, oh yeah, by the way, Kim and Cassie were still sleeping with this man. Oh yeah, yeah. It's crazy, but people do it. At the end of the day, there are going to be more people coming out and there's going to be more evidence coming out. What this is telling us is that at the end of all of this, social cues matter. They matter. Sometimes you don't understand what they are and you have to put them in a I do not know file, but make no mistake, you need to make a note of this. This is sick behavior. And the media is trying to get us to normalize this foolishness. No, you play with kids, you got to go. One way or the other, you got to go. So let's move on to the next person because he is interesting to me, extremely interesting. Now, these funny looking people, Will and Jada, I'm so like annoyed and nauseated by them. And the only reason why they're here is because this is a perfect illustration as to what is going on. Do not look at what you're seeing at face value. There is so much more to this than you think. I'm not psychic, but I watch patterns. I'm not psychic, but I'm around people who do tap into the God of all grace. They are not going to stay together. Are you insane? This is too much mess. So what are we really looking at here? And I'm going to give you full disclosure. Man, we don't know. We don't know. And just when you think that you do, they come out and say, you know what? We were lying the whole time. That's how we know. These are actors. They're paid to pretend to be other people, and some just take it more seriously than others. Some people who are not in the right frame of mind, they really think that they are who they are. They really think. Somebody said, I think it was a prophet. It was a prophet from overseas that said, Will did not slap Chris. It was King, what's his name? What was his name? King, whoever the character he played, which was Serena and Venus's father. It was King Richard that slapped him. Why? Because King Richard is violent. King Richard was violent. Are you kidding me? So that's why I don't really like talking about Will, because that entire night was set up. To me, it was the most stunning production. I'm not even talking about the actors, but the production, from the red carpets to the interviews to the sidebars to the what are you, the whole night. Beyonce in Compton, like on the streets. What? It was an epic night ruined by foolishness. So I don't care what you say. If you paid me $50,000 just to go look at a Will Smith movie, I would turn you down. That's how much it's like, I don't even want to look at this man. But there's this young man named Brother Bilal. It's very interesting. And I need us to understand that sometimes we need to hear things and hear them in the context of which they're given, and don't take too little credence to them being something bigger than what the person says. I'm going to say it to you this way. Sometimes somebody can say something in a still small voice, and the reverberations of it can fill a whole stadium. Chris Rock did it in his bit on Netflix where he said it. Everybody was calling you this. Everybody was calling you that. They called your wife that thing, but you hit me. Everybody all over the place was talking about the B word. He called her the B word. He called him the B word. No, but you didn't hear the P word. See, to me, I don't care one way or another what your sexual orientation is. You touch a child, whatever you get this coming to you, I will not be sorry. I will not shed a tear. Same thing is going on here. But this young man, Bilal, and he's a little long in the tooth as well. He was so wonderful to listen to when he did the first interview, at least that I saw, on Comedy Hype. I think you should go and watch that. I think after the show, we'll put it in the show notes. Go to Comedy Hype and watch his video. or his interview, because he came across as all business, like during the first, I'll say 20 minutes. And then he took a turn because he's hurt. People are hurt. Subliminal messages, watch the patterns. I'm just saying. Pay attention. Shout out to Star. Um, this guy said something and it broke my heart. The question was asked to him first to give you some context. People will come after you and they will ask you, well, with friends like this, who needs, and then fill in the blank. And he looked and he said, I thought about that. He said, but understand this. I realized that I was his friend, but he wasn't my friend. I'm sitting here in a fetal position crying because I'm like, did you hear what that man said? He just told you his whole reasoning for doing what he's doing. Far beyond getting back at somebody, the man is hurt. The man is hurt. He was eviscerated publicly by a woman because of his friend, his loyalty to his friend. Even if you look in the Bible, even the Lord, the creator of all that is, he said to Solomon, if it wasn't for your father, I'd kill you. Y'all saying you think the Lord is a pushover? He said, if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for your father, I'd kill you. Same thing with Moses. Was it Moses or Abraham? God is going off. He's like, I'm going to kill everybody in here. And the man of God looks to God and he says, you need to repent of this evil. And then the Lord was like, okay, I'm not going to kill him. You have to pay attention to what people are saying and what they mean. This guy wasn't about scorched earth. This guy was saying, I took this, I took your crazy wife, I took you, everybody knew that she was off the hook from the beginning before you even married her. We took it because we love you. And now you want to turn on us? Okay. So that's what this is all about. This is about sometimes you have to betray. Watch this. Now, this is a subliminal for your mind. Sometimes you have to betray everything that you know to be true about friendships, about not snitching, about not being a tattletale, about not letting it all out so you can save your friend. Oh, you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. Is it the truth? Is it the truth? Let's look at Frank Lucas. I'm bringing up all of these people. Now, was Frank Lucas a snitch because he told on like 3/4 of the New York Police Department? No, right? But sometimes in order to save your friend, you have to betray certain things. And we might not all agree. I mean, in a perfect world, I wouldn't agree with this, but I see subliminally what's going on. The message is, you're not going to play me, and I'm not going to allow you to be played by this person anymore. And if this is the way that I have to do it, go ahead and sue me. Okay, so you're going to sue somebody who lives in another country, a country that's under sanctions. Like, what are you going to do to this man? So just pay attention to that's being put out. Now, I said something about Cassie before. And this is really interesting in terms of legal beagles. And if there are any lawyers that come up in here and want to chime in, go ahead in the comments. I can't see them right now, but I want to say legally, he's doing something that's crazy. When I say crazy, I mean like crazy genius. What he's doing is, first of all, his book was supposed to come out before Jada's Tank's book. I'm sorry, if your husband is worth $500 million and you're a New York Times bestseller and we do the easy math and understand you only have to sell 100,000 copies and your husband can buy them all as soon as he says achoo, they're gone. We don't believe you. You need more people, Jada. No. We don't believe, and no, we're not going to believe Will because he's under your spell. So we need someone who doesn't even know you to come and say, yeah. Mhm. So Bilal has this book. And oh, yeah, I'm getting it. I told him I would buy that book if it was in Word Perfect. I'm not playing. But he said the way he's setting up his book is where for each chapter, I guess for the digital portion of the book, you'll click on it, you'll click on a link, and the link will go directly to documents that are legal, documents that are receipts, documentation of proof of what people have said, have brought to him. This dude has been working with attorneys to the degree that the people who have come to him that have the salacious information that he knew that they had, but they had to have it documented in order for him to put it in the book. The lawyers were like, yo, this NDA that they have can be broken. This right here, this is garbage. This one here, nope, we can break them. Uh that's why I say for Cassie, she might be under an NDA for certain things, but let's just say, and I'm not friends with her, like we are not age appropriate, but if I was friends with her and she had information that can bring him down, there's nothing saying that she can't give me that information, especially, watch this, since he doesn't know about the other evidence. Understand the evidence that she has in that filing or that situation that she filed. She might have information that is beyond that, beyond the scope of that. And whatever's beyond the scope of that, oh, I don't have to say nothing. I can just give it to my friend. And then they can come out and they can be shedding crocodile tears on the next surviving whoever. So, what are we learning from this? The subliminal message here is not so subliminal. Love those who truly love you and care about you. Even if you're in a romantic relationship, a marriage, whatever the case may be, one of the greatest pieces of advice I've ever gotten in my life is remember kindness. Whether you talk to that person, whether you're no longer friends or not, remember kindness. Because if you treat someone who has propped you up, who has helped you, never looking for anything in return except for you to be put on. Never, and neither, let me say this as well. When people don't look for anything in return, it doesn't mean anything goes. Meaning, just because I helped you get on, not only does it not mean that I don't want to take money from you or a prize or a position from you, it also means I'm not looking for smoke from somebody that I don't even like in any way. I never liked her, but I'm still doing the best by you because you're my friend. So I think that's where the problem came, and it's still going on. The underbelly of this is subliminally speaking, even before it even came out of his mouth. All of us are sitting here in the world looking around like, why in the world is this man still with this woman? Oh, well, he made a vow. Well, in the world of, I don't know why I'm going into the legal world right now, but legally, you have the right to renegotiate the terms of your contract. And when embarrassment, this level of embarrassment, even the Illuminati, yes, I said it, even the Illuminati is looking around like, dang, this is a real one. We would have never come up with anything like this. So, another subliminal tell is this. And I always want you to keep this in the back of your mind. If you never listen to me or come to this channel again, and you should like, subscribe, share with your friends, and give a comment. Always take this with you. always consider you might be bamboozled, run amok, sword asunder. It might be all a lie. How do I know? Because we just experienced this as a collective. Was it a month ago when her book came out, Unworthy? She came out and she said, "Oh well, we weren't together for 7." What in the Janet Jackson did you say? Listen, Janet Jackson is so bad. But I love Janet Jackson. We love her. You want to know why? Because she's so on the down low with it. No pun intended. But she's so private. We didn't even know that Janet was married until she got a divorce. And that was almost a decade. Keep your mouth closed. If you were divorced and it was between you and him, why all of a sudden do you feel like you need to tell the whole world? Subliminally speaking, we might just be experiencing the banana in the tailpipe situation. This Bilal situation is very sad to me. We'll see what happens. His book is probably going to be that of urban legend. I think that if he went around like Wu-Tang Clan selling that book out of his trunk, I think he would come off with a lot of money, because we're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. These people are sick. These people are hurting. These people are beyond. I hate talking about it, but I love Brother Bilal and I pray for his healing. So just pay attention to the message. So let me see what I'm doing on my time. Okay, good. All right. So hidden in plain sight subliminals. We're going to talk about Sam Altman. This is the man that unearthed me from that got me or unseated me from my throne. Do you understand? Friday, I was like, okay, this is cool. We'll see what's getting ready to happen. This is a joke. This is not going to stand. Then here we come on Sunday morning. And I'm looking at one of my professors from NYU on LinkedIn chiming in. And I'm like, what happened on a Sunday morning? So if you don't know what's happened, if you've been in another world, ChatGPT is what is it? It's computer generated information, whether it's audio, whether it's video, whether it's copy. It'll help you really streamline your process in terms of productivity. It's a hack, if you will, if you actually take the time to learn it. And the young man who was a founder, a co-founder, he created it. We all fell in love with him when he was on or in Congress on the Hill. And he basically said, listen, we would really love for you to have some sort of restrictions or some sort of guidelines as to how we can use this thing. Because, yeah, if you put it in the wrong hands, it's going to be crazy. So we loved the transparency. We loved, the nerdism. Like, I love me a nerd. Okay. And here we are some months later. And then these guys, his board, decides they want to fire him. Even what's the guy named Mark Scarelli? Scarelli, the creep that increased the children's insulin like by, I think it was like $600 a shot or something, and then he went to jail for other stuff. He was on Friday on a Twitter chat. I don't even know what they call it, but it's an audio room similar to Clubhouse. And he was saying, I've seen a lot of things in my life. He said, I've never seen a press release like this. I've never seen a press release so ambiguous like this. And it's going to be overturned. Something's going to happen because it can't stay like this. Usually one of two reasons why people get axed this way so publicly in terms of humiliating them is because, they're doing something funny with the money or funny with the honeys. Okay. And it turns out, malfeasance was not afoot, to the extent that Sunday morning, everybody was saying that the same board that fired him Oh, they're going to bring him back on. They're bringing Sam on. And yeah, the whole board is going to be eviscerated. So, what else was going on Sunday was you had you had a revolt. They were people who actually loved Sam and said, you know what, we will quit. We will quit and we will go with you because we don't like how this was done. And oh yeah, by the way, you're the leader. So here we are on Tuesday. As of right now, I'm going to say as of 20, not even 20, 35 minutes ago, when I tried to use chat for some things that I was finishing up. Why is it hanging? I've never seen Chat GPT just hang like nothing is happening right now. You think that's a coincidence? You think that's a coinky dink? The subliminal message here ain't so subliminal. Watch how you treat people because you never know who's standing for you. You never know who's watching you, and you'll never know who's advocating for you. Sam Altman, I often ask this about people who are famous and they pass away. And I always ask the question, I wonder if they knew how much they were loved. Did they feel it? Did they know it? Sam Altman got a glimpse of that. And I think he alluded to it by saying, you know, this whole thing has been like, I'm at my own funeral but I'm still alive. You know what I mean? Like who you can lose your job at ABC company and the people who sit right next to you won't even take up for you. This young man had the whole world looking at open AI like, are you dumb? Are you out of your mind? Can you imagine the whole world is on your side, even if 2 or 3 peppered in and just haters altogether? Can you imagine Elon Musk coming to your defense? So the not so secret is you don't have to be a total nerd or a turtle jerk in order to be an effective leader. And by virtue of the fact that these people were willing to put their livelihood on the line, this says a lot, right? This afternoon, I read something very, very telling. Sam is going to Microsoft to be the chief something officer of this thing. And the people who wanted to leave, guess what Microsoft said? This is like Clash of the Titans in tech, yo. And Microsoft is like, oh, and those people, by the way, who said that they would follow you wherever you go, you can bring them on and we'll pay them the same thing. Now, how many know that's code speak for, oh, we'll double it because they did what they did? Subliminally speaking, watch the pattern. When you have been good to people, it doesn't matter whether they're good to you back, Cassie. It doesn't matter whether they're good to you back, Bilal. It doesn't matter whether they're good to you back. The message is when you go around changing the world, however it is expressed through you, it's going to come back. And it's never coming back the way you think it should. And in this case, I believe this man, he's a young man to me. I believe he has been changed. He has been forever changed by the outcry that you cannot experience something like this and think that you're a normal person and think that you're normal. So that's really it. That's really it. This is a numbers guy. He's calculated in what he does. I didn't even realize that he was the founder of the Y Combinator. Some of the, I mean, do you know what the Y Combinator is? Go look it up and see how powerful this man is. Go look and see, because it's like you're putting this man out without understanding. He is the face of the business. That's like trying to humiliate Susan Taylor of Essence magazine when she was the brand, the face of literally the logo was her. So I did a whole rant about this on my podcast. I don't want this to make this too long. But what I want to let you know, I'll drop it in the show notes so you can go and listen to the podcast because it's really interesting. And on the other side of this, because I know that we do have entrepreneurs, business people, folks that are brand ambassadors. I give you a lot of tips, and even there's an article attached to it for how Sam Altman would really be applauding you right now if you took this as a lesson and that you would leverage it for all it's worth. I put out an article, I think on LinkedIn, Friday, Saturday, I don't know when it was. In 12 hours, like 1,400 people saw it. And I'm like, is it Saturday or what's going on? So you have to learn how to leverage every opportunity, no matter how inopportune it is for you, and turn it into something that is going to help others. And I believe that even with the situation with Sam, he's still helping us. He's still moving on to us. And if you saw any of the articles that were written, it was hilarious because the images that they got of Sam, they weren't from, the Getty Images of the world. They were generated by the platform he created. We're looking at Steve Jobs 2.0. Anybody that can take a business from zero to over $1 billion at a $20 per month subscription overnight, you probably wouldn't want to get rid of him. Because if he did it once, he can do it again. And he's already done it multiple times. And what do you think is going to happen to him when he gets to Microsoft? Life gets really, really fun when you have an unlimited budget. I'm just saying. So anyway, let's move to the next slide. So very quickly, what are the subliminal messages that you are learning from Black Friday and these sales? It's the most wonderful time of the year, but let's be honest. Show of hands, how many of us heard the jingle in the middle of the summer where they used the jingle to "It's the most wonderful time of the year" and it was 90 degrees outside? These people, these retailers, wholesalers too, these people are savages. I'm born in February. I promise you, I saw a Black Friday commercial the week after my birthday in March. These people are savages. Do you understand? And if you see anything, this is the brand girl in me. If you see anything 50% off, 60% off, that's not a sale, mama. That's not a sale. And I'm going to bring it back to my faith because I got to shout out Jesus every now and then. But, we sit and we say, oh, I can't give the Lord 10%. But if you see a 90% off deal, you'll take it, right? I rest my case. Happy holidays, everybody. The subliminal message is not so subliminal. They're savages. They're playing you. They want to play you because they want you to get out and be crazy on Black Friday. But here's a hint, wink, wink, hint, hint. The people who make the most money is not on Black Friday. It's Cyber Monday. But you didn't hear that from me. Pay attention to the patterns because the patterns are going to show you that things replicate and they keep happening over and over again because most people are not picking it up. When you pick up patterns, what people are saying, what they're not saying, what they're doing, what they're not doing, how they're coming across or not, when you are paying attention to that with all of your senses and with your soul, being guided by your spirit, you will be able to change what other people call impossible into possible. Just because it's impossible to you doesn't mean that it's impossible for us. I'm going to do it on my time. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is my first live. I did not make an announcement. So if you have any questions, any comments, post them in the chat or post them in the comments below later on and mark them with giant letters, capital letters, Q&A, and then ask your question. Your question can show up on the next live or on the next video. And if you do want us to create a video subliminal for you, put it in the chat as well, and we will consider it, because everything we ain't doing, but we will consider it and we will see what we can do. So um, I made this video because I want you to walk away with information that I have given you so that you can apply it. Knowledge is beautiful, understanding is wonderful, but if you don't use the knowledge that you have and the understanding that you have, then that is unwise. Wisdom is applied knowledge. So everything that you've heard, I want you this week, for the next 30 days, in fact, to watch everything that you say, especially internally. See, it's easy for us to sit and talk about what other people are doing. And that's why, social media is the way it is. Virality is a thing, when in the real world, if something went viral, you'd be in the hospital, right? But when you master yourself, you master your mind. That's where a real mastermind is, the mastery of your mind, not other people's, right? Things start changing. I saw a comment the other day. Somebody said, oh, well, unfortunately, this didn't work. Well, just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work, right? It works when you work it. And take that respectfully, right? Once you, and this is what I mean by watch what you say. Once you open up your mouth and say what it isn't, it shall become what you say it isn't. You shall have whatsoever you say. Biblical proportions. And you can go into all of these esoterics. It's all the same thing. Whatever you say is going to come to pass. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Right? So I want you to watch what you say. I want you to say only things that it sounds like OnlyFans, only things that are going to prop up what it is that you want. So if you're in a bind, never say you're in a bind. You say, I am unbound. Some way, somewhere, I am unbound. How is this factual? Because the truth isn't always the truth doesn't always have to be factual. I love it. It doesn't always be. The fact is that you may be bound in one situation, but how do you know that you're bound? That means somewhere else in you, you are unbound. So you can see that in this area, something ain't right. So just open up the door to, because I'm unbound in this situation or scenario, I unbind myself from being bound in any other area in my life. So then you start saying, I'm unbound, I'm limited, I'm limitless, I'm unlimited in every way, in every shape, form, or listen, I'm not trapped. So, and on the other side of that, I want you to recant every negative thing that you have ever said about your situation. So a lot of people feel, oh, well, I don't have the money. I remember a long, long, long time ago, because I got so frustrated with people who were out of control. Never mind the fact that I worked in wealth management and I met some of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. These are first, second, third, some of them even eighth generation wealthy people. And they were so beautiful and so endearing. And then you have somebody who just got $1 million and they're just crazy. And I remember I said, you know what? Money don't even matter to me like that, yo. So you know what happened? Because money wants to be in a relationship with you. And you just said in earshot of that energy, which is money, that you don't care about it. So my question to you is, if you had a relationship with somebody and you heard them saying to somebody else, you know what? They don't even mean nothing to me like that. How would you feel? And I'm not saying money has feelings. I'm saying if money answers everything, that's what the book says. If money answers all things, then that means it's listening. Oh, you didn't hear what I said. So recant every negative thing that you ever said. You absolutely can recant it. You can take it back. Why? Because you're talking to and you're giving yourself a break. You are unbounding, just like I said. You are unbounding and unbinding yourself from anything that you've said before, and then you're going to replace it with what you want. That's it. I want you to watch for patterns, especially the ones that you don't like. And I want you to speak to those patterns in your life or coming your way and say and do and act in the total opposite of that thing. So if you don't have the finances, okay, I do have the finances. Why? Because money's everywhere. Just add is for me. Money's everywhere for me. The situation taken care of for me. What he has for me is for me, and I got it. I'm gonna claim it right now. I might not see it, but I see it in my spirit before I see it. Sometimes you have to go into the mode of, I know it's out there for me. If it's out there for the robber barons, if it's out there for the drug dealers, if it's out there for the trap houses, if it's out there for huh, these people who have power, but they don't have any God in them, how be it that it's not for us. So I want you to do that. You don't need to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do that. But at the end of the day, yeah, you have to do the work, do your assignment. Don't mind other people's business, mind your business. And I'm telling you, you watch what comes out of your mouth and just make a declaration. Listen, I'm not letting any negative thing come out of my mouth, whether it's true or not. That's a whole sermon right there. Whether it's true or not, I'm not letting anything negative come out of my mouth. Whatever it is that I say, and every day you check yourself at the beginning, at the end of the day, whatever I've said unknowingly, however I've communicated, because 90% of communication is nonverbal. Whatever it is that I said or in any way, or I communicated in any way that was negative for me or anybody else, I repent. I turn that around right now. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm already forgiven and I'm moving on and we're moving up. Do that for 30 days and watch what happens. Do that for 30 days and watch what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been up here for longer than I wanted to, but I'm glad that it's not an hour. And I want to let you know that we are re-releasing our booming business affirmations. I got a great and fantastical idea from my guy. I love him so much. And it's called the Creed Card. And what it is whatever your organization or your brand that you are being the ambassador for, you're standing with or for, all of us have our core values. All of us have our code of ethics. All of us have our creed. And what's so really dynamic about each of us as individuals or even as businesses is that we get the opportunity to be in front of and with people that help our dream comes true as far as serving others. And so what I'm going to give you are the core values that we developed from 5 of the biggest companies in the world. I think it's JP Morgan Chase, Amazon.com, Walmart, Target. These people are, I think, Best Buy as well. These people get up every day, they go to their job, and guess what? They have a pep rally and they extol the virtues and the values of that business every single day without fail. These are companies that bring in millions of dollars daily. And there's no reason why you can't take a card or a page, take a page out of their playbook, put it on a card, a business card that you can go to Staples, have it run off for what, $20, whatever it is right now. Give it to every member of your team and make sure that you do this with your team every single day. And you do it, day and night if you are the business owner. It's going to come with so much. It's going to come with your subliminal. It's going to come with 2 sets of beautiful designs that we've created as business cards. It's coming with The subliminal is, I think it's about 132 or four messages that you can read in 30 seconds, right? You have no excuse for this. Like, you're going to need help failing at this. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the best practices that's in the book that you can actually use to increase your results. Then we're going to give you a 15 point checklist so that you can increase your chances even more. And then we're going to give you a lookbook of even more prompts so that you'll be loaded down with them. This is totally digital. These are printables as well. These are things that you can download, keep them on your devices, whether it's an iPad, a mobile device, so that you can look at it. If you take a break, just look at it. Who doesn't have 30 seconds? Come on, like, you waste time scrolling. But with this, you're actually going to be prompted, and you're going to be fed audibly, visually, and I'm going to say spiritually as well, because there's something in you that already knows that you have what it takes to be number one, and we want to help you do that. The link is going to be in the description if it's not there already. And guess what? That's the end of the show. Like, love, comment, share. Let somebody know that really, really needs this. That it's not just about talking about things that are viral or things that are on trend. It's about really understanding that everything that we do, everything that we say, is going to come to pass. Everything you say is going to come to pass. If you knew that everything that you said is going to come to pass, what would you say? Oh man, did I really just give you a cheat sheet to the homework? So I will be asking questions the next time we go live. I thank you so much for stopping by. I see some people that are here. Hello, hello, hello. And God bless you for coming. Tell your friends. I'm so humbled that I got the opportunity to do this. And I will do it again. It will be shorter, though. I promise you, it will be shorter, I think. See you later, and be good. You have some videos coming up. I'll let you know when. Bye bye, everybody.